Hi, I'm George Benn, and I'm going to be talking to you about health in the workplace and corporate health. In this presentation, I'm going to talk to you about the problems with health in the corporate sector, the implications of health issues within the corporate sector, examples of some successful workplace health interventions and good practice. So the ways that people have put interventions in place and they've been successful. I'm going to talk to you about my idea for a workplace health intervention. So to start, the World Health Organization defines health as not only the absence of disease, but as a state of comprehensive physical, mental, and social well-being. So they talk about how health isn't about just the way you physically feel in your physical health, but your mental health and your social well-being as well. In the UK, there's a big problem around health in general, but in the workplace as well. It says there 185 million days are lost to sickness absence in 2022, with 23.4 million of those being due to musculoskeletal conditions, so issues with back pain, neck pain, and all of these other issues, which tend to stem from being sat down all day looking at a screen. They also have a lot of links to weight complications. So if you look at this chart here, musculoskeletal problems make up 10% of all sickness absences. So general back, neck pain, issues around that are causing 10% of the days lost for sickness, with 7.9% being due to mental health conditions and another 8.3% due to respiratory conditions. So these are the three areas I'm wanting to focus on: are getting people moving, mental health, and getting people's general fitness up. Now, as it says here, there are over 300,000 people that leave work every year and claim health-related benefits. So this tends to be due to problems with not being able to maintain a level of work, and a lot of that time it is due to conditions through ill health or through poor conditions of how you work. And that's further strengthened by the fact that 25% of adults in the UK were overweight. This is as of 2013, where at the time the UK were the highest rate of or highest obesity rate in Europe. But it's not all bad news. There's a lot of good practice out there and a lot of evidence that shows that interventions and initiatives within a workplace can turn this around and can have some really positive impacts. In 2023, it was found that workplace health interventions can have a range of positive effects on workforce health and job effectiveness as well. So not just helping the physical well-being, the mental well-being of the workers, but also improving their effectiveness in their roles. So these effects included improved well-being, general perceived health was a lot better, and increased job satisfaction. So they were a lot happier in their jobs. But there was also a massive decrease in psychological risk factors linking to that mental health aspect, and showing that actually these initiatives can really help develop work on your mental health and bring you into a better place. And again, linking to the mental health, there was a reduction in job burnout and sick absences. So less people getting burnt out at their job, they're more willing to keep up with it and keep going. And also a reduction in the sick absences shows that not only are people generally healthier in the way they're feeling, but it's shown in the numbers and shown in how in a reduction in people having to take time off work because of sickness. It was also found that in 2014 that physical activity, and in this case specifically yoga, showed significant reductions in symptoms of depression and anxiety within a workforce. Obviously linking to that idea of being at peace and being and movement, stretching, and that idea of it is activity, it's physical activity. It's not strenuous in that it tires you out, but it's a big focus on relaxation, which links to that reduction in symptoms of depression and anxiety. My idea for an intervention and for a wellbeing week, as I've called it, as I've got here, would be that every day is a different taster session for a different fitness class or activity. So on a Monday it will be boxercise, Tuesday it will be yoga, Wednesday will be a social walk, so walking around the premises of the building or walking around the area in a group and getting people talking. Thursday would be guided meditation, and Friday would be aerobics. And a running thing throughout the whole week, as I'll come on to later, is the Team Steps Challenge. But it's not as simple as putting it into place. There's a lot of things that need to be sorted out. So these sessions would take place in office shared spaces, so cafeterias, entrance halls, could take place outside if weather permitting, obviously, or are at the desks if that's an option. To take place both on lunch breaks and after work, because not everyone can get together on a lunch break. They might need to eat. They might need to do different things. So therefore they can do it after work in their own time, or if they've got things to do after work, if they need to pick children up from school, if they've got other things they need to do, they can do it at that lunch break. And all the sessions would be led by members of staff from the company. All the team leaders will be trained in these activities, so they can lead it themselves. And these sessions can take place online if needed. For obviously, since COVID, there's a lot of people working from home now, working online, so that you can do these sessions over Zoom or over Teams if necessary. And I've really tried to push this idea that these activities should be accessible to all. So not only linking to that idea of if you're working from home, you can get involved, you can do these activities, but also I've tried to include some activities that people with limited mobility or mobility issues might still be able to get involved in. For example, the guided meditation is a big one, but also the walk. If you're not too mobile, if you're wheelchair bound, you can still get involved in that, and enjoy that social activity of being in the group. And same with the yoga. This idea of being part of the group is what I'm trying to push as much as the physical health aspect of it. But why have I chosen these sports? Why have I made the decisions? So I believe that the activities and sessions put forward create a balance of opportunities to not only improve physical and mental health, but they also develop a range of aspects of health and fitness. So, for example, boxercise is a great tool for developing cardiovascular health and developing coordination as well, which can be transferred into a lot of different activities and sports. Yoga, as I discussed earlier, is a great way of reducing symptoms of depression and anxiety, and helping aid mental health. Guided meditation is great for stress reduction, but also great in terms of the work aspect of this. It can really help with focus. Walking is a great way of reducing stress as well. Also good for really good for cardiovascular health and management of health conditions such as any heart problems, joint problems, and issues like that. And finishing off with the aerobics is again really good for cardiovascular health, and doing it in a group is great. That social activity of getting people talking, and I think that's really good for mental health. As mentioned earlier, throughout the week there'd be a team challenge. This team challenge is a challenge where everyone does it individually and as part of a team. So each individual is aiming to hit 50,000 steps over the course of the week. Can be done in the office, can be done after work, before work, and even for those working remotely, it can be done just around the area. And it's all about influencing not just teams coming together, uplifting everyone and encouraging each other, but influencing some healthy competition between the teams to try and push everyone along, try and get some a bit of competitiveness in there, get everyone pushing and try and develop each other, and about establishing healthy habits as well, and trying to get people to continue doing these activities, especially the walking, after this wellbeing week, because once the Wellbeing Week's over, if people don't carry on doing activities, it's just going to go back to how it was. But I think as an activity, I think this is a really good one because it's accessible to anyone who is mobile enough to walk. Most people have a device that can record steps, whether it's a smartwatch, a pedometer, even a smartphone can do it nowadays. And it's an activity that you don't need any level of skill or specific level of fitness to be able to do. It can be done at any time. So that is my suggestion for a Wellbeing Week and intervention. And this are my references. This is where I found all this information.